Alright, welcome back to another episode with Eric Quinn Caladrim, my Govanen. We are just back from the Toronto Game Exchange, TGX, with the Desolation of Toronto, hosted by Blackfire Productions. Ronan and I have been working hard getting ready for that for a while. We had a great time there. The guys at Blackfire always do an amazing job. They work really hard. Great terrain, amazing prize support this time. Really good guys at TGX to support. So it was a good venue. The event was a lot of fun. And we thought for this video we'll do a quick review of our armies, talk briefly about the things that we learned. It didn't go as well as we hoped it would. We prepared well, but there were some things about the event that turned against us, and that's fine, that happens. So we'll go through our armies quick. We've got 3 armies we're going to talk about. Renwin went with us and had a blast. We took a spoof army for her. We got special permission to take a Disney Frozen army, so we'll show you that because it's pretty cool. And I took Moria with some Mordor allied in. Ronan took a mess. And some things went well and some things did not. There's always more things that we learn when we go to these events. We had a lot of fun. But yeah, some things go well, some things did not this time around. So that's okay. That's what happens. So we'll walk through that briefly. Maybe first, Rona, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you experienced while you were there when you did the Carandros and some of the siege scenario stuff that you did there.
Well, that was a lot of fun. It ended up happening at the end of the first day of the event because for whatever reason, I can't remember the exact specific reason, but they weren't able to do it the first day, I think because they just didn't have enough people or whatever. But at the end of the first day, there was about 6 or 7 of us that went downstairs to hang out and play this big, massive siege that was going on. That was a lot of fun. It was custom profiles, custom objectives. It was great on a custom board.
Massive board too. It was like 12 feet by 4 feet. It was huge.
It was broken up into 3 different 4x4 segments, and that was used in the actual scenario battle. They had broken it up into 4 different individual battles that were all linked together in their own unique way. So that was lots of fun. Would definitely do it again next year. Hopefully Evil can do better than it did.
So Ronan was playing one of the Evil armies. I wasn't involved. I was toast. I spent the last month painting about 100 models to get everything ready for all of this, so I went to bed. But you guys stayed up and had a good time.
Yeah.
2-day event, 3 days, including the siege for Carandros. So that was a lot of work for the Blackfire guys to pull all that off, and they did work hard to get it all together. But it really looked good. It came together well. So let's take a quick look through the scenarios. We won't go through because you can download the tournament pack off of the OSBGL page, and you'll get all the detail there. They rolled the scenarios randomly. They played 6, the standard GW scenarios. And that worked for us and it worked against us. So Blackfire guys are so good to work with and they're so good to talk to. So they wanted feedback after the event. We gave them some feedback. Loved everything about the event except a couple of the scenarios. And others will disagree with us on this and we would welcome that. It's a good discussion to have. But we thought the Maelstrom deployment scenarios really took away from the event. The scenarios were fun. They're always fun. And the guys there are great to play with. I know one of the Maelstrom games I won because my opponent was totally sabotaged off the deployment. Just they rolled poorly, I rolled well. I got my warbands together, and I just ate him before he had a chance to get his army together. It really wasn't fun. He was stuck at the beginning. The next Maelstrom game I played, the opposite happened. I couldn't mic my guys together. I was stuck. It didn't go well. Reconnoiter is is a scenario we don't really enjoy playing at tournament events. It took me half the game to get my army on. They just didn't arrive.
And for me, it turned into a little bit of a slugfest as everybody was trying to run, and we just got kind of stuck. Yeah,
and that's fine. I mean, when you can play it out and use some strategy and actually play your opponent, I like that. That's part of the point. A Maelstrom deployment is just a little bit tough for an environment like that, especially when there's a fancy GW trophy or big prizing on the prize table. But the event was fantastic, and everything else about it we loved. And we worked hard on our armies, so we'll give you a real quick review on our armies here, and we'll just see how this goes while I try to pretend that I am Captain Steadyhands. So here is my army. I brought Moria Filth. I've got a little bit of Mordor allied in over here. So I brought Shelob. I brought a very small warband of orcs, half a warband of orcs, 2 specters, and the Shadow Lord. I painted him up with an ice theme because I'm Mr. Ice Guy. I like to do my ice themes, and I had a lot of fun painting these and getting them all ready. And we've got some other nice pictures we may just feather in here for that. So I did that, put together an ice theme for my Moria. I painted another pile of goblins. I've played this army before, but a bunch of my goblins were not actually ice painted last year, so I redid all that. and brought in a couple of bat swarms that I custom converted. So I had some fun working on that. That's my Moria army. Ronan, Captain Filthy Man, brought a whole bunch of Urukai backed up by Orc Spears with the Shadow Lord and some random sort of sprinklings in there to fill out some other strategic needs. So he's got Sneezer, a troll on the left. He's got a Shade. He's got 2 Spectres. He's got the Goblin Scribe in the back there. A highly versatile army with a whole lot of tricks and gimmicks. And that worked in some ways and didn't in others. So you first, Ronan, what did you learn with this army?
First off, the big weakness of this army, just you can tell this by looking at it, is scatter deployment. Because since it is 5 different factions, this just is not its strong suit. Because all your independent heroes are just scattered all across the table. And that did kind of mess me up a bit. I lost one of my games. I lost both Bert and Goblin Scribe to scatter deployment because they just ended up by themselves and were killed by other stuff.
Which probably serves them right for bringing that kind of filth, but that's all good.
Fair enough. Otherwise, it performs pretty well. It's a high enough model count that it's not easy to break me, especially with the Shade hanging around the majority of the fighting. When it comes to actual combat, this army is a machine. It's built to do one thing, and that is shred through the opponent's infantry, which I did whenever I got the chance to. It does not fare well against armies that have a whole lot of heroes with might, in the sense that they can just heroic combat and just shred through my pike block pretty quickly. And that's kind of the short and the long of it for me.
So that again was Urukai with some interesting backups to it. My army is a mobile version of a Moria army. So I've got lots of spiders, I've got bats, I've got a whole lot of stuff for Drizzt, and really this whole army is built around Drizzt. So I had one of my good friends who I trust and who knows me well and is just really good to play with, challenged me on how long I was taking to play, and I didn't realize that I was playing slowly, and I certainly didn't mean to. But the challenge in playing this army, I find, is that because Drizzt in the back here can turn most of the army into a time bomb, any of these creatures can be furied, and when they're furied, they can be furied and they can be enraged. When they're enraged, they get +3 attacks, +3 courage, +3 strength, and +3 something else.
Fight value.
Fight value, including Shelob. We could do that to any of the spiders, wargs, or bats. So I've got this board full of ticking time bombs, and I don't have 1 or 2 or 3 important things to watch and a whole bunch of infantry to move around. I literally got 12 important things I got to keep in my head all the time, and I'm always trying to position those properly. So I played chess for a long time, and I play strategically, and it takes me a little while to make sure that I'm putting all these time bombs in the right place. So I was slower than I probably should have been when I played. My opponents were all really good about it. I tried to pace myself to my opponents. I think I was playing the same speed they were. I roll quick. I deploy a little slower. But in fairness to my opponents, I didn't time myself, so I don't know how slow I really was being, and that's something that I'm mindful of that I'm going to have to be careful with. In this army, it's tough to play it quick, not because of the model count. It's 52 models. There were lots of people there that had 50 plus models. But for example, the 50 model dwarf army that I saw 2 different people bring, it's a mess of infantry with 4 heroes. So you're really careful about where your 4 heroes go, and you just march your infantry through and cause trouble. Half my army is infantry, the other half of it is time bombs. So it's kind of like running 12 heroes and trying to make sure that I use them all really well. So that I'm going to need to rethink that in the future. That was probably my downfall for this event. And then otherwise, Maelstrom deployment, just, I had a warband that was off in a corner that got eaten. And then the other game, I had an opponent's warband in the corner, and I ate it. And it sort of throws the game off when you really crunch people quickly like that, and it takes their strategy away from them. Which some people love to do. I don't know. I struggle with it. All right, so here's a look at Rinwin's army. We took 3 armies with us. Ronan and AJ and I all win. AJ's code name here is Rinwin. And Rinwin means joy memory. It's an elven name. So this is an elven army, and no, it does not look like it. This is Disney meets elves. So in the back here, of course, you can see there's the heroes from the Frozen movie. We've got Elsa and Anna and Olaf. We've got a couple of singing trolls from the forest with Kristoff. These are the trolls that sing about love. And here's Snow Monster Marshmallow. And then all the rest of these guys are from the Disney animated short. They're snow geese is what they're called, little snow guys. They're called snow geese. And we did different things to their war gear to make them identifiable. Ronan was a big help on this, and AJ was super creative about this. So we're going to try our best to walk through this and not get you too confused here. But because ice monsters are not terribly common in Middle-earth, and we were trying to figure out what to proxy this guy as, next closest thing we came up with that was a good guy you could ally in with an Elsa or an Anna would be Treebeard. So this is Treebeard with a whole bunch of Woes' warriors. You can tell them by their blowpipes. And these are snow geese, just like all the other little snow guys, but they have little ice blowpipes. So that's what we did to make the Woes' warriors distinguishable. Anna is Tariel. Elsa is Galadriel. So Galadriel from Lothlorien, not the Lady of Light version, because we need her to be able to lead a warband. And Tariel from Mirkwood, of course. So they're all leading wood elves, but the wood elves from Mirkwood have armor, so these armored snow geese are in snowbanks. That's their armor, because we figured that would make sense. So we buried them in snowbanks, we put some ice chips and things on their bases all around, just to make it clear that they have some armor. So that was kind of fun. Mirkwood Rangers have 2 attacks, so we put 2 of them on a base together. These guys are sort of double kicking and being fun. This guy is ninja kicking off of his buddy's back. I think that was probably my favorite of all the ones that we made. So there's our Mirkwood Rangers. Mirkwood Cav. Yes, they're on Cav bases, but they got to be snow geese, right? So this guy is sliding on an ice wedge down through some trees and snow. This guy had a little trouble. So his sled is down in the dirt and he's belly up, head down in the snow. But he tried. We were proud of him for trying. And they had lots of fun. So that's the Mirkwood warband here, including 2 dismounts. Dismounts for the Cav. So here's the Mirkwood warband with Tariel. She brought these guys with her, and then Elsa and Olaf split the rest of these guys. These are all wood elves from Lothlorien, and we cut them up a little bit to make them different poses. So some of them are running, and some of them are sitting, some of them are doing headstands, some of them are on ice or water, some of them have ice chunks on their bases, some of them have some bushes or a little chunk of ice right there, and then these guys have little ice catapults. War gear on these, they all have spears and throwing daggers. The whole army has spears. We made it easy for Rinwin to remember and not get confused. The Woes' warriors come with them anyway. All these guys have been equipped with spears, and all the wood elves have throwing daggers because they can throw snowballs. They're snow geese. So the guys that have bows can throw them farther, so we give them little ice catapults. You can throw an ice chunk 24 inches instead of a 6-inch throwing weapon. But between snowballs and a really big snowball from Treebeard, we've got a feisty little army here, actually. Olaf was a Galadrim Stormcaller, because he can have his own personal flurry in the movie. And the singing trolls, we decided to make sentinels, because sentinels sing too. So we've got 2 wood elf sentinels back there. We've got this poor tired little guy in the back, because it's really heavy when you're a snowgie and you're carrying a banner around, don't you know? And that's the Disney logo, or the Disney snowflake. One of Elsa's snowflake designs is on there, which we also put on the custom dice. So this is a wood elf army from Galadrim, mix of Galadrim and Mirkwood, with a little bit of Treebeard and Snowgie Woes' warriors to back them up. And then we made a custom display board for AJ as well. Had a lot of fun with this. We do this with all of our armies. We have wooden trays that go in our wooden cases and dollar store magnetic sheets, and then the bottom of all of our models we put washers on so they stick nice, and it works really well. And they don't slide around when we're traveling. It makes it much, much safer to travel with these guys. We've had so many bad experiences. So this one, it's the same magnetic sheet, but we primed the whole thing white and glued a bunch of stuff on it. So we've got snow and some ice, which is water effects from woodland scenics. We've got some patch grass. We've got ice chunks, which are broken pieces of plastic. We bought some gems from the dollar store and bashed them all up and made little chunks of plastic that we could glue in various ice shapes to various things. And this is foam cut to look like a rock, and we just had a bunch of fun getting this display tray ready. So that's AJ's Disney Frozen army. And she had a blast with this, and competitors were really good to her, and they helped coach her through the game. She got smoked, but she had a lot of fun. Had a lot of compliments from people. She was really thankful. And we have always been really pleased with the guys that we play with at the OSBGL. It's a great group of guys. And there's some really impressive stuff at this tournament. We were proud of this army and how it turned out, but we were blown away by the other stuff that we saw there. Rona, what did you see that was impressive to you?
Well, I saw a really nicely painted Dwarven army. I think that was Mike Anthony. I think that was his. He had really nice looking I think he used cork on the bases just to give them a little bit of a lift, and then they were just really nicely painted. Joe's army was there, his mix of dwarves and elves, and those always look nice. We saw a bunch of cool stuff, actually. We saw like a whole bunch of cool looking spiders from Jake, and Devin brought his horde of hobbits, which he's been working on a lot over the past couple years, and they're starting to look really good. Yeah, we just saw a lot of really cool stuff.
A lot of guys in this group that just are beautiful artists. They just do really good work. A lot of staples. Drew's Dolguldur army that we love to hate because he wins with it so much, but it looks good. Don's stuff always looks good. I mean, there's just a ton of people in this group that were really exceptional. And then, of course, the best painted prizes this time were exceptionally exceptional. Michael has been working for 4 years, Michael Campbell, on his Dol Amroth army. It is mostly conversions. He's got half of his army are women. He jokes about being equal opportunist. He's very much equal opportunist, but he jokes with his army about it. And he's got so much detail painted, fine detail painted into the robes, the cloaks, the capes, into the pauldron over the horses. And then he made this incredible display just for TGX, which is new. His army is something he's been working on for 4 years, but the TGX display was unbelievable. River with a bridge, and just so much detail in the bridge, in the statues off the sides of the bridge, and the trees and everything all around it.
And apparently, all those individual bricks that you guys can see on the screen right there, like on the bridge, apparently those were all carved.
Yeah, he uses foam. Talented guy. He's pretty clever. Knows how to find inexpensive stuff and make it look like gold. So great job by Michael Campbell. Very, very worthy of the award for Best Painted. Best Evil Army, Best Painted Evil Army was voted to Father Justin. Justin's been working on all kinds of stuff. I thought it was kind of funny that a priest brought Angmar, the demon spectre army, and won a Best Painted prize for it too. So good on you, Justin, for that. And yeah, here's a picture of his army. He's just got some really clever paint schemes in there. It's tough to add colors to things that in the books are just sort of blue and faded out white, and they're beautiful, but there's not a lot of color to them. So Justin took a color approach. He just added a bit of flair to his army, and it paid off. He got lots of attention for that. So first, second, and third, Ronan, who won at TGX?
First place was none other than
Boo Hiss.
the Boo Hiss distinguishable guy who crushes everybody all the time.
Hashtag don't let Andrew win.
Andrew Brock.
So, yay for Andrew. We're cheering for you, sort of. And then second place was another Boo Hiss, the American Boo Hiss, Jacob Hall, who wins all the time too. Good on him. These fierce competitors. These guys are good and they know the game. Joseph Hanlon in third. No surprise. He's often top tabling too. Honorable mention to Garrett Pogson, who beat me for fourth. I didn't realize I was that close to actually almost placing. So maybe someday I'll place again. But yeah, good on these guys. Joe and Andrew and Jacob took home the trophies, and we're all jealous. We would love to get lots of pictures of those trophies. Maybe we can convince them to do a video in Newmarket and do a bunch of close-ups on the different elements of the trophy. We'll see. And we're going to Nova. We'll see if we can bring a trophy home from there. Yeah, right. But that'll be fun. We'll have some good times. And we are right now getting ready for 3 upcoming events. Fly You Fools to Peterborough on August 18th will be the next OSBGL event. 750-point event. Random
Which
scenarios.
Conveniently is actually the same point value as Nova, so that's good practice.
Yeah, so we're hoping to practice for Nova. We'll be taking our Nova lists to that one, so we're not going to say anything about that. And then a week or two after that is Articon, which we're not going to. One of these days we'll get out to Articon. And a week after that is Nova. So that's what we're getting ready for right now. 3 events at Nova. We're going to the Middle-earth's Deadliest Heroes, we're going to Doubles, and we're going to the GT. So we're going to be tired by the time we get back from Nova. But we're excited about that, and we'll have a lot of fun while we're there. So that's us for this week. We're signing off. Learned a whole lot at TGX, had a great time. The armies we took, we thought were competitive, and we didn't do as well as we thought. So that's okay. You always learn. And we had a great time. Really good guys there. Congratulations to Blackfire. Fantastic work they did. Games Workshop thought so well enough that they sent trophies, and that was a big, big deal. So, yeah, right now, as far as we know, Articon and Nova are the only other events that have been given these amazing trophies, and this is the big event for Canada for the year. Ontario is going to continue to have our grand tournament at the end of our season, and that'll be a separate event, but the TGX event's going to be a staple, and we will definitely be going back next year. We'd love to see all of you there too. Hopefully we can see some of the American team that came out. A bunch of Americans came up. That was great to see. Hopefully we'll bring in some West Coasters next year. We may even see a Brit or two come. You guys would be so welcome. We've had a bunch of you come and visit, and we've enjoyed those visits very much. We'd love to spend some more time with you all. And one of these days we'll make it to Arcticon. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Anything else? I've done most of the talking here, sorry. What else do we need to catch?
Preview. Tease. Monster Mash coming up.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, here comes the preview. Watch him edit this in, a guy that knows something about video editing now. 3, 2, 1. Poof. And we're back. And oh my goodness, that's going to be fun. Hope you enjoyed it. We will have lots more videos of Monster Mash coming, and we've got some other fun stuff planned that we'll show you next video, right?
Yes.
Michael Vannon, thanks for watching.